All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So as we patiently wait for the Pixel 8, we still have our other devices. The Pixel 7 and the Pixel 7a are two of the best devices on the market if you want a pretty much standard everyday device that's going to get you through your day and pretty much get all your needs done and then some. So I've had the Pixel 7a since launch, and it has been just see how fast that facial recognition is? It has been just a phenomenal experience altogether. Now, when I get into this slump and I want to put down devices, I pretty much always grab a Pixel. Now, obviously, I have a Pixel Fold as well. But when I'm, along with a ton of other Pixel devices, but a lot of times I'll go to the latest of the standard version for me, and it really makes me relax and kind of kick back on social media and things like that, and just kind of get that neutral in between device. And this is pretty much it, folks. This is a lot of value in this device right here. Now, currently the Pixel lineup is on sale, so be sure to hit the Pixel store, store.google.com, and you should be able to find some deals there. Also, Best Buy might have some deals as well. I'll try to remember to leave some links below. But having this device since launch has been an absolute, just a perfect run for me. I haven't had any problems. I was on 14 beta and I started to take them off of 14 beta because the 13 has just been running so good. So I switched most of them back, except for my Pixel tablet. It is still on 14. But I didn't see too many improvements as far as performance goes, so I decided to go ahead and just switch back to Android 13 and wait on the official build. So speaking of official build, this device is so speedy. This is Google's technically latest version of one of their standard devices. The Pixel 7a is just a great deal. It offers a lot. But I think a lot of people, when you think about Pixel devices, you think about how simple the software is, or how great the cameras are, and that pretty much is going to start summing up all devices at this point. Companies are focusing on cameras a lot, and that's just what it is. They're going to try to give you the best experience with the camera because social media is so apparent. Like, everyone's on social media now, and everybody's pretty much posting their life online. And so why not do that with a phenomenal set of cameras? Now, the story about phones in general, to me, they've pretty much plateaued. Unless you're getting into a foldable device, you're not getting much more at this point. And I have several different kinds of foldable device. The Samsung lineup obviously is great. And I have the new Pixel Fold. The Pixel Fold is a very difficult device for me to stop using because phones today, I didn't think I would ever say that, like, officially. I think we've gotten to the point where phones definitely just can't do anything else. You're going to have to make a folding device, a sliding device, or something unique about the device in order to keep people engaged. And currently right now, the next thing about the Pixel 8 lineup is, you can see Google has pretty much just thrown the hardware out there and said, hey, listen, this is what we're going to give you. And what they've done is they've rounded off these corners on here, and they've pretty much given it a different, same style, just kind of rounded off the body of the device. And I think that's going to make the device feel so much better. Kind of like what they're doing with the Pixel, but the Pixel is a folding device. And so the Pixel, it opens up like this. And so you've got this pretty much rounded side on this side, and it's flat over here because of the hinge. But I think them making the corners and everything round on the Pixel 8, that's going to bring a better feel in hand. I've always told you that I've never been a fan of like really boxy phones, and even Apple has decided to round off the corners on their device. Now, one of the best boxy phones, if not the best phone of 2023 so far, has to be the S23 Ultra, in my humble opinion. As much as I'm Team Pixel, this phone just kills it in so many other ways. It's incredible, but this is a boxy phone, and so if they were to round off these corners, whoa, we would have some trouble out there on the masses. But I've learned that there's fans of brands over the years of doing content creation and speaking with people in person and online and at events. People are loyal to whichever brand they want to be loyal to, no matter what. And you know what, folks? There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with liking something for your own personal reason. I've always personally liked stock Android. It's just been my go-to. But I'm learning now over the years that a lot of companies, they do have pretty decent software with a lot of extras. And I think the company that does that the best is probably Samsung in the US. And there's other companies that have tons of features. LG has exited the market, but there's a lot of companies out there that offer a lot. And even Google offers some extras. They're just they're not talked about very much. So when we think about a Pixel, we ultimately start to think about software and photos. I don't think anybody thinks much more of a Pixel after that. I think they just think, hey, photos are great. They're the best at photos, and then they have a pretty solid software. Yeah, I think that's what it's come down to. And now that's not just for Pixels from where I sit. I think my main focus of purchasing most phones today is just to check out the video cameras, and what slight changes are made to the hardware. Because there's not much more you're going to get at this point unless you change to a folding device. This has to be the future. This is nice, very simple, very subtle. It gets the job done. It's an all-around solid phone and platform the way you have to do a device. But I think a lot of companies would benefit from switching to a foldable device. I think they would benefit from switching to this style. And that kind of takes it to somewhat of a next level, but you don't go crazy with it, I think this is probably the best folding phone option to date, because it can be a slab, and then also it can be folded away and put into your pocket. And there's lots of extra goodies that you get with flex mode and things like that, because Google has implemented it with this particular device. With the cameras and things like that. So I want to do a new video on the cameras on the Pixel Fold, because I've been so hard on those cameras. They're just not as good as they should be for the price and what they're offering in that range of their high tier device. So with that said, when it comes to software and the direction I think companies should go, I think a lot of companies are going to have to switch to some other style. This is the Z Fold 5. You've got to switch to a folding device in order to grasp that new market. I mean, companies today are just, if you're still releasing phones in the slab like this, the only changes you could possibly make are to the hardware and just maintain your software. So then why are we buying phones every year? Pretty much just to get that next form of the hardware. That's ultimately all we're doing. And, a classic example is, look at the date. Today is February 22nd. After everyone buys their iPhone and picks it up, they'll soon realize, hey, I can just I could have just kept, that might be their saying, because that's what I do. Most times, if I were to, back in the day when I was trading in phones and iPhones and all these devices, I was like, I could have just kept my other iPhone. I'm getting the same experience. I'm just getting a little bit different hardware. And that's really ultimately all it is. So with this style of phone, when you get your Pixel 8, you're probably instantly going to realize that the hardware is a lot different. And that is all that I've seen. So I clean up this beautiful blue. Isn't this blue just beautiful? I want to see the blue on the Pixel 8. I think that's going to be just great. Right? I think it's just going to be phenomenal. There's so many things you can do with blue. It's incredible, and the different shades. I mean, look at the current iPhones. Once again, look at the light blue on the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus. It's more in line with this. Super bright. Yeah. Pretty. When I think about it, maybe it might be right on point with this. It's almost white, almost. And sometimes when people see this, depending on what camera I'm using, they'll say, "Man, that looks white almost." Like, yeah, it does. But I think Google, when they bring out the 8 and the 8 Pro, I hope that there's more to it. I mean, even though I know and that it's pretty much just a hardware upgrade or a few changes to the hardware. You can already see the differences in camera module and things like that. It's going to be something that they focus on probably the most, because the software, again, the software is already done. This is some of the most solid and stable software, folks, and this is one of their lower tier devices, if you will. I don't think they can use that terminology much anymore because this device runs on the same chip. Yeah, so I think it's nice that they're getting it in like that, but I wonder if there's going to be a Tensor chip 3 or something like that. I wonder if they're going to go ahead and move it up like that with the next number and then just pretty much tell us how much faster it is, because that's ultimately what we're getting into. But for me, I was going to create like this Google Pixel 8 wish list, but I already know that my main concern is just going to be hardware and cameras for the video. That's it. I need them to come with it for video. I can shoot beautiful video with these outside and in different situations and scenarios, but I can't shoot beautiful video with them all the time. And that is where the problem lies. So once they get their video game in check, no pun intended, they're going to have some killer devices on their hands. Google has, look at that, it's a nice little thumbnail. Google has done right by me by bringing out solid hardware, very solid software, and just the overall support has been beautiful. But I really think it's time, and this is such an old story, that because they focused on the video for the Pixel 6, I believe, and 6 Pro, just still wasn't there yet. So let's hope that we're not just buying a hardware upgrade pretty much overall, because I'm telling you, that's ultimately what it is. Until you get into the folding game, you're buying more than a hardware upgrade. And I'm happy to continue to rock with Pixels because I genuinely like the Pixels as a whole. I don't have to have a folding device. I'm a pretty basic person overall. It's very simple, I would say. And so I don't have to have all the flash all the time. But these phones just work, folks. They just freaking work. And that's ultimately what you need your device to do. Using them on the Visible network, which is the Verizon network, I have not had one problem at all with these devices, and I rotate amongst all the Pixels. These are just the 3 I have right here on my desk, but I have tons of other Pixels, and I rotate between all of them. Ultimately, I think I've been rocking with the Pixel Fold the most, but the weight of the Pixel Fold can be overwhelming sometimes. And then I'll go back to a Pixel 7 or 7a or whichever one I'm going to use, and that is where I stay for a while. So it's the weekend, and I decided to, it's Friday, so I decided to switch over to the Pixel 7a over the entire weekend. But I feel like if Google is going to bring the Pixel 8 out, I like that they're going to round off the corners and make it look a little different. You can clearly see this on the website and all the posts that they're doing, that it's going to be a little bit more rounded off. And I think that's going to be a nice, sexy, sleek upgrade that the devices need. But I'm going to need more than that. I'm going to need something to go on with that video quality, because that's what's the most important to me. What's most important to you when you're using a Pixel device? Is it the cameras? Is it the software? Is it the battery? Is it how things run? All of the above. What's the most important thing to you when you're using a Pixel or pretty much any phone? I think I've narrowed it down to video cameras, and pretty much hardware is the only changes we're going to get. So we're going to need to make sure that the software is still stable, and making sure that we're getting something. If we decide to drop another $1,000 on the next version of the device, it has to be worth the upgrade. And in most situations, folks, it is not worth the upgrade. But as a content creator, I am just drawn to it, and I can't help but buy whatever it is, because I want to see just how different things actually are. But it's your man Jay. If you guys enjoyed, what do you guys think about the Pixel 8? Do you think it's just a hardware upgrade, or are we really going to see something different with that hardware upgrade to the video capabilities of the devices and camera capabilities? Or is it just another run-of-the-mill, just straightforward, not in a bad way, just a flat-out, this is a Pixel, we changed a few things, this is the way it's going to be? I want to see more folding devices from Google. I want to see a slab-style folding device from them, because I think it would be really nice to have this in a folding form factor, and they clearly can do it too. So it's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Team Pixel, sound off in the comments. Take care.